A full count offering. Called strike three. Cubs win. Cubs win. They take 2 of 3 from the team they beat to win the pennant last year, and they'll head into the weekend 6-3 on the young season.
Well, the Dodgers shut out the Cubs last night. They returned the favor here this afternoon. Davis finishes off. It was not a save. First big league win, or first Cub win, excuse me, for Brett Anderson. First home runs of the year for Russell and Rizzo. We highlighted the exploits of Almora in center field. So an all-around good day. The Cubs continue to clip along here, winning 2 out of every 3. And boy, did he paint the outside corner to finish off this ball game.
First shutout for the Cubs pitching staff. Here in game number 9. They had 15 shutouts last year, tied for the most in MLB. James and Sons Fine Jewelers player interview. So Kelly Krell is on the field. And it looks like Anthony Rizzo, who homered for the first time this season, is our subject today. Kelly, take it away.
Hey, thanks a lot. Well, Anthony, your first home run of the year. Off the lefty you haven't seen a whole lot of, but just to get that first one, does it feel pretty nice, and to know that you're seeing the ball this well this early in the season?
Yeah, it feels good. It always feels good to get that one out of the way. Just kind of sort of relax a little bit, but another good win, good series win for the boys, and you know, great crowd on a kind of a weird day here. It starts out all gloomy, and then it turns out to be beautiful. So another series win, we'll take it.
You know, there was a lot of curiosity by fans, at least at the beginning of the year, as to how Almora would fill the shoes of Fowler out there. What's your early evaluation on him?
I mean, those plays, you know, he's made some highlight plays, you know, in the first handful of games that have been amazing. The 2 today were just the wind blowing, the way it's hit, it's fun to watch.
Out of curiosity, it was Madden who kind of wanted to go with D-Pete as one of the mottos for your team. But in general, when you watch Almora, you watch what Javi did today with you there and doubling up. Explain why that's so important for your identity.
I mean, Al doesn't make those plays. It's a totally different ball game. You know, you got to make all the routine plays, but it's the extra plays that you make that really go over and beyond. And we end up tacking on a few more runs because of it, and pitchers can be a little more loose, and we can be a little more loose.
Well, you said it, another series win. Congratulations, Anthony.
I appreciate it.
Guys, there you go. Another big day at the plate for Anthony. 2 for 4, and Cubs 3 series now in a row.
Thank you, Kelly. So that'll wrap up a fun one today. We are back with you on Saturday for the middle game of that series against the Pirates, 12:30 for our pregame coverage. For JD, for Kelly, and our entire CSN crew here at Wrigley Field. I'm Len Casper. Final score again, Cubs 4, Dodgers nothing. Stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live is next.
All right, Len and JD, thank you very much. Hey, I'm 1-0 filling in for the Catman.
Yeah, you're doing
great. Got to make it a regular gig. So the Cubs get a big win today. Very good pitching again, excellent defense. And Joe Madden talked about it at the beginning of spring training, said his motto was going to be D-Pete, ride defense to a second world championship. Through the first 9 games, their defense has been outstanding.
I mean, these guys are making highlight plays. They're making the easy play. They're making the hard play. And the pitching is feeding off of that. And now the bat's coming alive. It's a great combination.
Of course, you played center field at Wrigley Field. The ivy has not grown in yet. You jumped out of your seat on those Albert Almora catches. It takes a lot of guts to run full speed at that brick wall.
Yeah, especially that second one where it was over his head, slicing to the side. Yeah. He only had 2 steps to stop himself after he caught it, but it was a special play.
We will take you through all the great defense, those 2 spectacular catches by Albert Almora, and the legend of Kyle Schwarber continues to grow, performing juggling acts out in left field. We'll also have Joe Madden's news conference, hear from Brett Anderson on getting the win today. It's all next on Cubs Postgame Live, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Someday, Daddy, I want to get married right here in our backyard.
It's obvious they were meant for each other. Always side by side, but never together. Forever trapped in the friend zone. Until finally, they got together at Taco Bell.
Check it out.
I'm talking about the taco and burrito. Double the seasoned beef, fresh lettuce and tomatoes, shredded cheese, and crunchy chips. The new loaded taco burrito, just $1.49, only at Taco Bell.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass a membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
Say hello to AT&T's best unlimited data deal and never pay overages again. So now, the whole family can binge, surf, shop, navigate, listen, game, stream, and more, all without the hassle of worrying about overages or running out of data. In fact, you'll never pay overages again. And remember, it's AT&T's best unlimited data deal ever. So get AT&T, get unlimited, and get everyone more for less.
Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, as reliable as the cars themselves. Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Toyota. Tested. Trusted. Toyota. Toyota. Let's go places. And by State Farm. Here to help life go right. This is Cubs postgame live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
Almora back on this one.
You got to try somebody else, Corey Seager.
It's a good idea, JD. An all-around brilliant defensive game by the World Series champion Cubs. Albert Almora, Javi Baez provide the glove work. Anthony Rizzo and Addison Russell add the power. The Cubs win their third series in a row to start the 2017 season. They shut out the Dodgers 4-0. And with that, we welcome you into Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I'm Mark Shanowski, filling in for the Catman, alongside former Cubs outfielder David DeJesus. And David, you've heard this throughout your career. You try to win every series, get 2 out of 3 or whatever it takes to win the series. When you add them all up at the end of the year, it's going to be a pretty good record. And the Cubs have done that so far.
Yeah, they've been playing quality baseball early on in the season. And these aren't just gimme teams. These are the Cardinals and the Dodgers, teams that are in the running to make the playoffs as well. So it's great to start the season like this.
Time for our Crate and Barrel celebratory moment of the game. Now, this one didn't really lead to a big celebration, an innocent-looking play, but the situation was crucial. Dodgers loaded the bases against Brett Anderson in the 5th inning, 2 outs. Anderson was fighting his control. He walked a couple of guys in the inning. The very dangerous Yasiel Puig at the dish. So what does he get? He gets an innocent pop-up towards the LA dugout. Anthony Rizzo goes over.
I thought he was going to climb. I thought he was going to climb. Like, get up there, Riz.
He just made it easy, and that was the 3rd out. It was 2-0 at the time. If Puig gets a hit, who knows how the game could have changed. So that was an important moment, because when you look at a 9-inning baseball game, sometimes you look at the final score, 4-0. Dodgers only had 6 hits, but they could have turned the game around in those early innings.
Yeah, they had men on in the 4th and 5th inning, and Brett was able to pitch out of him, make some pitches when he needed to, and we were able to put 3 runs on the board. We didn't really need it, but those were those add-on runs that you need just to give you some space and give you some momentum on your side.
Now, both teams went with right-handed dominant lineups against left-handed starting pitchers. Let's take a look at how Brett Anderson and Hyun-Jin Ryu fared this afternoon. We will start with Mr. Anderson. 5 innings, only 3 hits allowed, but he did walk 4, and it seemed at times he was fighting his release point. But he, as a veteran, you know, he didn't lose his control there.
Yeah, sometimes you have one of those days where you're not hitting your spots, you're not hitting your corners, and it looked like the Dodgers' plan was to see it up in the zone. They uncharacteristically flew a lot of balls out. So they had a good plan, but they couldn't get the big hit when they needed it. And that's a testament to a guy just staying, believing in his pitches, and letting his defense play behind him.
We saw a ground ball there, but we didn't see a whole lot of ground balls. I mean, the Dodgers were hitting the ball in the air against the ground ball specialists.
No, we had our defensive specialists out there as well, so we can always come with him as well.
And the thing about Anderson is, you know, he's a veteran. He doesn't lose his composure, which is important. You know, 4 walks, could have led us some big innings, but he was able to keep them off the scoreboard.
Yeah, and there was a play right there where he came off the mounds. He stopped, threw the first, and the trainers came out, Joe came out and checked him out. He was fine, he stayed in, and was able to get some key outs when he needed to. So it's a testament to, you know, Brett staying healthy. Oh, and I feel that he's going to be able to make those 20 starts and give some great innings for the Cubs.
That is our Elk Grove Village pitching recap. Let's take you through some of the Cubs scoring plays, starting with the very first inning. Anthony Rizzo, well, we know this wasn't exactly a hitter's day, but the launch angle, kept it low, got it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, you know, that was an out over the plate, short, quick swing to it. And it's nice to see Riz just getting his swing going. Didn't try and do too much with it, and he just let his hips and his hands. And what a great play by that lady.
Yeah,
that's
a splashdown. They talk about those in San Francisco. We had a splashdown in the right field bleachers, and those fans couldn't have been happier about getting the souvenir.
I mean, she caught that with mittens on.
You think that was strategy to try to catch it with a beer cup or self-defense?
I think that, I don't know. Who knows, but that's a great play.
It was a great defensive day. We even saw it in the right field bleachers. And then Addison Russell, who did not have a home run until that moment. He launches one here. Forget about the wind blowing in. He parked one on Waveland.
Yeah, that thing's rolling along the street right now. And the fans are chasing that one out in Parkland right there. So, you know, Addison, his swing is coming. You know that he's working the other way, and he can turn on pitches when he gets them in. As you've seen today, he's a strong man.
How far did it fly? 417 feet. He got all of that one. Now to the 5th inning. This is when the Cubs broke it open. Kyle Schwarber smashes one down the first base line off Adrian Gonzalez's glove. That's going to score a run. He picks up an RBI. And then Anthony Rizzo comes through again.
Another big hit, especially against a lefty. You love seeing that. Again, you're keeping his front shoulder in, able to line it through there. Puig came up with a big throw, and Schwarber tried to score. I like the aggressiveness nature of the Cubs right now. They're trying to get runs, add on runs, but it's a tough slide.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, you were an outstanding base runner. What would you say about analyzing the slide, both in the third and home? That's dangerous.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, that's where you can bang up a shoulder. I would love to see him just go straight in. We got a 4-0 lead right there, and you don't want to see him get hurt again. You want him every day in that lineup.
You look at that right shoulder, you just worry about that.
Yeah, look, thank the Lord he's a big, thick dude that his body can take that, but just one little tweak of the shoulder, and that could affect his swing, that could affect his defensive ability. So we're fortunate enough that he's okay.
Now, if you could sit down with Kyle and give him some advice on running the bases, what would you tell him? I mean, obviously you don't want to make an out at any base, but your health over 162 is more important than that one play.
Yeah, I always thought that I'm going to slide into the base with feet first. Go right into the base as hard as I can. You can't have those injuries with your hands, with your wrists, when you're going feet first. And on those plays right there, especially that slide into home, you're asking for something to pop up, and just go in. If you're out, you're out. You're safe, you're safe. You're playing hustle baseball, and that's what the fans and your team wants.
And sometimes you can get into some bad habits that way. I've seen, you know, some base runners that would slide. Your old teammate, Alfonso Soriano, had problems at times with sliding. It's like one of the situations when you do it a couple of times, it becomes almost your bailout option. We don't want to see him doing that all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I remember in spring training a few times, they would take out these mats. We'd put sweatpants on, and we'd just practicing feet sliding, just straight into the base. And you're not going to get injured most of the time when you're sliding feet first. So I hope these guys can think about that. And I know it's a bang-bang play. You're trying to score the run for the team, but longevity is better than one run.
Yeah, doing it 2 times in a row is a little bit frightening. Well, as we said, the legend of Kyle Schwarber continues to grow. Not only is he hitting the ball, drawing walks, he's juggling on the left field wall. How about this play? You've been out at Wrigley Field. How did he manage to corral this ball?
I thought it was a catch.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was a catch, and I guess the rule was you can't have it hit the wall or the ivy, so they gave him a ground rule double. But it is tough when you're near that wall because the basket's hanging over you. you don't want to bang into that wall because the brick's right there. So that is some juggling right there. That was a great play. And Almora was right along with us.
Almora's loving it. He's
like,
calling it out there. He caught it. He caught it.
He's like, that was better than mine.
Just a crazy play, and we saw that he had a cut above his eyes, probably because he got a twig from the growing ivy. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is a full-service entertainer out there.
He's doing it all for the fans right now. He's a great leadoff man and a great left fielder, too. So it's fun to watch these youngsters play the game and just really be behind each other out there.
And in that inning, they were able to extricate themselves from any damage because there was a great catch by Albert Almora that took extra bases away from Corey Seager. Time for our manager's news conference presented by Comcast Business. Built for business. Here's Joe Madden on the latest victory.
How are we looking?
Talk about defense all the time, and again today.
Yeah, I mean, I know Andy got through 5 and he got it through it, but he did not have his best day stuff-wise or command-wise. We played the heck out of defense. Albert was fantastic. That was really a big part. The outfielders really had a big part in the game. Schwarber almost had a circus catch also, but give the defense credit. When you catch the ball like that, the double play, when Javi gets up in the air and a double play at first, that's a big difference maker in that game also, having to use CJ for 2 innings. I mean, there was a lot of little nuance in that game again today, but it really, without that defense, it doesn't look anything like that.
So being a great defender like that, is it just seeing the ball better than other people?
I think there's almost that innate sixth sense of movement. They're moving before the ball's actually, I mean, it's probably impossible, but they watch the swing so well, they understand swings. And I just think it has something to do with focus. And, you know, we all, whenever you play a game, you all have maybe a certain attribute that stands out just unknowingly. And there's something within. And I think, again, I've compared Albert to Jimmy. I mean, they're really similar, man. I watch them out there. One's left-handed, one's right-handed, but the plays that he made today, especially the one where he had to lean back, that's like textbook 101 on a ball right over your head like that. He didn't have time to flip his head around. He didn't. He couldn't. So you lean back. So check that one out. That is 101, and not everybody can do that. His ability to time his jumps, to get to the wall, he plays the ball properly, all that stuff. It's really fun to watch him play out there.
You factor in the elements, man, it's not easy to play.
Very difficult. The wind and I think Turner thought he hit a home run that last at-bat. He broke. I talked to him. Albert said it was, looked hot coming off the bat. The way that Turner reacted, he thought it was. So you saw him break back originally, and that's another thing. You watch. You try to hear the crack of the bat. You actually do. Big, strong guy, full swing. That's when you get fooled. When a guy takes a full hack, big, strong guy, and ends up dumping in front of you because your first reaction would be to move backward. So all that stuff. When you teach outfield play, man, you really need to teach that kind of concept also. Crack of the bat, big, strong guy, full swing. You don't know if it's off the end of the bat. You never leave the ground. You keep your feet on the ground. The way he drops steps and goes, really, he's taught well. I mean, beyond instinct, he's been taught really well.
Did you think Schwarber had that ball?
I thought it might have hit the wall. I did, because his back was to us at some point. And I think it hit the vine more than it hit the wall, but the vine being part of the wall, there's no other way that they can call that, because for the umpires to try to differentiate between the wall and ivy, so I don't blame them for wanting to make it one and the same. I think it just scraped the ivy, and I think Kyle told me the same thing. So what are you going to do?
Baseball win series, and you're going to be fine. Taking 2 out of 3 in the first 3 series. Can you just talk about, even though it's early, the play so far overall?
Yeah, I mean, we played the Cardinals first, and then the Brewers, who I think are much improved, and then beat the Dodgers here. It's not bad. That's not a bad. No, you're right. Winning series is and should always be your goal. You're not going to win them all, obviously. So taking 2 out of 3 against tough teams that they were here to win. There's no question about it. We pitched. They pitched. Both sides pitched well. I mean, even 4-0 today. What was it, 1-0 yesterday? The 2-1 game. I mean, or 3, whatever it was. There's been some really good pitching going on, and the elements play into it a little bit, no doubt about it. But it's the same for both sides. CJ was a big force in today's game. Big. I mean, the way the bullpen was lined up and not wanting to use Grimm, wanting to save Iwahara for later, not wanting to beat up on Strope, Rondon, sore knee, Montgomery 2 innings, all that. So you have to consider all that, and you're still trying to, if something were to go poorly, you have to still think about extra innings somehow. So all these different thoughts are a concern, but the guys did a great job.
Did Anderson tweak a little something?
He did one on that chopper, but he said he was fine, and I saw him. I watched him throw afterwards. I thought he was absolutely fine.
Was that his back again?
No, he did something with his leg. He did like a leg kind of a stretch. But even when he threw his first pitch, I saw that there was nothing bothering him whatsoever.
You guys were laughing when you won.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I saw the play. I thought he slipped maybe a smidgen. I thought that's what it was, and he's had that history. So the antenna go up very quickly, and but he was fine.
Anything more definitive on Rondon, specifically for this weekend?
Not overtly definitive, other than he felt really good today. Talking to PJ, we don't anticipate anything extended, or I'm thinking like maybe tomorrow. If he told last year he felt great in the bullpen today, so we'll see what he looks like when he comes in tomorrow. I was anticipating 2 days and then play him on Saturday, but we'll see.
Any idea what would cause you to challenge the slide with Schwarber, blocking the plate and catcher? What's the sort of thing you see that you might?
I don't see anything. I'm going off of what the boys tell me upstairs. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what the threshold is to?
I think when the throw comes in, if the throw takes you there, then they don't. That's permissible. It's a bad rule. I'm not into the rule at all. I mean, I prefer Schwarber just runs the catcher over if he's in your way. I mean, that as far as I know, that's the spirit of the rule also. So everybody's trying to avoid being tagged out so badly. We talked about this earlier. The runner's going to get hurt before the catcher is. So when the guy's in your way, run him over. I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Pitching and defense is key, but bad swing got
Oof. That ball was mangled. Was a 2-0 count, right? 2-0 fastball. I mean, and just like Toll's ball yesterday, those balls are really crushed into the wind. I mean, even Anthony's home run was really well struck too. But Addy, I mean, that cleared everything, didn't it? That came off hot. Even the fly balls, he had a couple pop-ups. He was all over that stuff. I thought Jason swung the bat again well today. Javi's getting back in the groove at the plate a little bit better. Our lefties handled the lefty pretty good today overall, so I thought it was a nice day.
Joe waiting for his next question, the always entertaining after the game news conference. And he didn't say one of my favorite phrases. He didn't say we meatloafed him. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's usually one of his favorite things. Maybe he's retired that for this season. But he did reference one of the things we just talked about, Kyle Schwarber's base running, saying he'd prefer to see Kyle run the catcher over rather than make an awkward slide to avoid him.
Yeah, because when you're making the awkward slide, that's when you're giving yourself a chance to get injured. Mm-hmm. So just go into it, barrel him if you have to. And the rule kind of slowed guys down. I don't even know, in my heart, I don't even know if it was okay to run over the catcher anymore. So I think guys are feeling that, where do we go with it? Mm-hmm. So they're trying to do crazy things, and they're going to be the ones that get injured before the catcher does.
And the batter on both of the sensational catches by Albert Almora was actually Corey Seager. Joe said Justin Turner, but he was on a roll, so the media just let him go. You're not going to interrupt him. Time to name our UPS Store Taking Care of Business Player of the Game. And sorry, Catman, but this one definitely impacts our key performer contest.
Yeah.
David went with Addison Russell today. I picked Wilson Contreras. Contreras had a double. But a ball on the Waveland's going to trump that anytime.
Yeah, 400 plus. I think that's me. Great swing, quality compact swing, and he's heating up now, and hopefully we see the Cubs bats as well.
It's interesting, too, because Joe has him in the cleanup spot against lefties, and I think that's the way he envisions him. You think about a shortstop, he's got the power to be a middle-of-the-order guy.
Yeah, he showed in the playoffs last year that he can handle those big moments as well. He can hit the ball out to center, to left, to right, and those are the special type of players. A guy who can play all-star shortstop and be able to hit as well with power as well. It's great stuff.
As we know from last year's playoffs, he is a very clutch hitter as well. Time for a break here on Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We're expecting today's winning pitcher, Brett Anderson, to make his way to the interview room. A whole lot more still to come. We hope you'll stay with us.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
This is the original light beer, brewed with the belief that a beer could be light and not compromise on taste, to be enjoyed from first game to last call. Miller Lite, hold true.
The best seat in the house is on your back patio. From outdoor furniture to entertaining, shop Crate & Barrel, the official home furnishings partner of the Chicago Cubs. Visit your nearest Crate & Barrel store or shop online at crateandbarrel.com.
During the Jeep Spring Sales Event, see why there's no better place than being far from home. Going all out. Spending time with family. Taking the road less traveled. Braving the elements. And seeing the sights. Go farther at the Jeep Spring Sales Event. Get $4,000 combined cash allowance plus $500 bonus cash on the 2017 Jeep Cherokee.
Another monumental season comes to life with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV. Catch the biggest moments from baseball's best all season long. Follow your teams, favorite players, no matter where you are. And with MLB.tv included, you can watch nearly 90 live games a week on your favorite devices. That's every milestone and miracle on the screen of your choice. Order MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
Our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing looks at the Cubs' next opponent, the Pittsburgh Pirates, in town for a weekend series. We know Andrew McCutchen, he's had some success against the Cubs and just about every team in baseball. Against Chicago, 19 home runs, 74 runs batted in, a .304 career batting average, and yes, he can steal a base as well. Who's not hot? Well, the Chicago area native, Josh Harrison, batting just .226 against his hometown team with 41 strikeouts. Welcome back to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's time to look at the winning box score presented by Jim Beam. And there was good balance. Everyone got a hit except for Chris Bryant. Anthony Rizzo starting to come on. He had 2 hits, a couple of RBIs, and his first home run of the season. We also mentioned that Addison Russell also got his first homer. So nice balance throughout the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone got into the action. You know, the big home runs that gave us, extended the lead, got us the lead, extended it as well. And then just good at bats. We were battling, and it was a great game hitters-wise because we stayed true to our plan and saw the balls out over the middle and did our job with it.
Yeah, and as the weather improves, I'm sure the Cubs offense will continue to improve as well. But the defense is in mid-season form. Time for our James & Sons Fine Jewelers fielding gem. We couldn't just pick one because Albert Almora was simply sensational in center field.
This is the first one, right?
That wall's got to look even scarier early in the year. There's no ivy, not that it provides a lot of cushion, but
Yeah, you want to see some green that gives you a little bit of cushion there, but you know, this guy, he just wants to make a play for the team, and he's showing that he is an MLB caliber center fielder. And being able to get up right there, time it well. He's timed his 2 jumps, especially the first one against St. Louis, and this one were timed perfectly. He gets to the wall, jumps at the right time, and catches it at the highest peak.
Corey Seager tipped his cap on that one, and this one is frightening. He's running full speed at the brick wall. Really doesn't have much time to slow up, but he still makes the catch look almost routine.
Yeah, that one is tough because the ball is slicing over his head. He's running back. He doesn't, like Joe was saying, he didn't have the time to switch his head, so he just leans back, catches it in the heel of his glove, then gives it a little baby kiss. He's happy that it stayed in there, and it was a great catch, and that's a special play and a special player as well.
Well, tell us the truth. You've played out there. When you're trying to feel the ball like that, what's going through your head? I'm just trying to get to this thing. If I can just get to it, I'm going to stick my glove up, and I hope it stays in there. And that didn't hit him in his web, but he was able to squeeze it with the bottom of his glove, and it was a great play. He didn't break stride at all. That takes a lot of guts looking at that brick wall. We're going to use our last time out here on Cubs Postgame Live. When we return, we'll look ahead to that series coming up against the Pirates and much more.
Say hello to AT&T's best unlimited data deal and never pay overages again. So now, the whole family can binge, surf, shop, navigate, listen, game, stream, and more, all without the hassle of worrying about overages or running out of data. In fact, you'll never pay overages again. And remember, it's AT&T's best unlimited data deal ever. So get AT&T, get unlimited, and get everyone more for less.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a chauffeur terrier.
Weather was good. This is heavy. Pretty much a ring out.
Rocky, heel! Rocky, come back! No! Break!
What the?
4!
And we covered it February 23rd, 2016. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Spring is on, and it's time to get growing. As America's #1 professional lawn care company, True Green can tailor a plan that turns your ordinary lawn into an extraordinary one. So start your True Green lawn plan today for only $29.95.
Being a fan is hard. We make it easier at SportsGreat.com with officially licensed MLB gear and VIP golden ticket experiences delivered right to your door. Join the club at SportsGreat.com today.
Internet speed's 20 times faster. AT&T Fiber sounds amazing.
Wait a sec, I'm not done yet.
Less than 12% of AT&T homes actually qualify. Huh.
Hold on.
Everyone else gets our other slower internet speeds, but no one reads this stuff anyway, except for the old guy with the binoculars. Huh.
Don't be fooled by AT&T. Xfinity delivers the fastest speeds to the most homes. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today.
Your old heating and cooling system is costing you money. Our preseason air conditioner sale is going on now. Get a free in-home estimate, plus same-day installation of a new Lennox air conditioner from $24.95. Furnace and AC combos from $36.95. And receive 0% interest financing for 5 years. Plus, we'll beat any competitor's estimate by up to $500. Call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4-SEASONS.
Hey, Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card available only at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Well, let's take a look back at David's keys from the pregame show, sponsored by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I think you hit him right on the money.
Yeah, lefty dominance. Brett did a great job. He only gave up 3 hits today. He got in a couple jams in the 4th and the 5th inning, but was able to pitch out of them and then get to the bullpen, and the bullpen did a great job after that. And then short-term memory. We got on the board early with Rizzo's home run, and that's important after getting shut out the day before. Getting that run quick, and then in the 4th and 5th innings, being able to add on and just to give us some wiggle room there. And it's just a good win overall today for the Cubs.
It's nice to see the long ball again. That's been a staple of the Cubs' attack the last couple of years, and they knocked 2 over the boards today. Cubs homestand continues this weekend with a visit from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's check out the pitching matchup for tomorrow's 120 series opener. Reigning National League ERA champion Kyle Hendricks gets the ball for the home team. Hendricks won his first start in Milwaukee over the weekend, and you know, he got touched up for a couple of runs, but he got things back under control.
Yeah, he started off the first pitch of the game, or third pitch of the game, the guy hits out. You don't expect that to happen, but he settled down, gave up another homer, so that was uncharacteristic, but he was able to, you know, settle himself, start rolling there, and he's looking to sharpen everything up this start.
And our next game is going to be Saturday afternoon. There's supposed to be close to 80 degrees. The wind's going to be blowing out. You'd love to play in a game like that, right?
That's when you're taking BP and you're like, oh, the wind's blowing out. I'm going to take it. I just got to get the ball up.
Everybody arrives at the ballpark early, sees the flags blowing out, and they would say, let me get in the batter's box.
Yeah, even the pitchers, too.
That's true. Thank you so much for watching Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield. David Kaplan will be back for our next game. That is Saturday against the Pittsburgh Pirates. But if you're missing Cap, he's next. Sports Talk live from the United Center as we get you set for the Stanley Cup playoff opener between the Blackhawks and Nashville Predators. It's hockey all night here on CSN. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.
To be in the Express, you gotta be able to ride. And I mean really ride.
Jack, wait.
Ma, I ain't no boy no more.
You don't know what's out there. It's dangerous.
This is something I have to do, Ma.
But the job only calls to a man who has what it takes.
You take this, and you go west as fast as you can.
Think we'll see him again, Mom?
I reckon.
How can you be so sure?
Because west is that way.
The best seat in the house is on your back patio. From outdoor furniture to entertaining, shop Crate & Barrel, the official home furnishings partner of the Chicago Cubs. Visit your nearest Crate & Barrel store or shop online at crateandbarrel.com.
This is the original light beer, brewed with the belief that a beer could be light and not compromise on taste, to be enjoyed on nights that start out as afternoons. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Get more storage for less money with Aero Metal Storage Sheds from Menards. The 10 by 12 foot Arlington is perfect for storing mowers, patio furniture, and more. Right now, it's just $379. A healthy lawn starts with the right seed. At Menards, you'll save on Schultz Sun and Shade, Shady Lawn, Hardy Lawn, or high traffic grass seeds. 3-pound bags are $6.98 each. Find these and other great deals now during Menards Easter sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
My next show is gonna be a singing competition.
Oh my gosh, look at her butt.
Let the competition begin.
Are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Sing.
Why aren't you rehearsing? They said I'm an egomaniac. I don't even know what that means.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema. Sports Talk Live is presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers who know what it takes to be number one. It's all about drive.
This is the Silverado Special Edition.
This is one gorgeous truck.
Oh, did I say there was only one special edition? Because actually there's 5.
Nice. Strength and style.
Make a strong decision. Find your tag and get 16% below MSRP on select Silverado 1500 pickups in stock. That's over $7,900 on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
And it's down to a free throw. He's at the line. It's a miss, but oh man. We could have a bit of a delay, but we'll be back with overtime.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Is this the season ending for the Montreal Canadiens? The New York Rangers with a huge upset. Ovechkin and Crosby being broken up by Greg.
They dislike each other, despise each other, detest and loathe each other. So to every bitter rival, we say thank you, because the one you hate the most, you also can't live without.
For the 9th straight year, Blackhawks in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and their quest for a 4th cup in that span begins tonight on CSN. Game 1, Blackhawks and Nashville Predators. Puck drops just about 2 hours from now. And remember, CSN is the only place to hear Pat and Edzo call playoff hockey. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs begins right now on Sports Talk Live from the United Center. And welcome in here to the United Center. It's Game 1 of the 2017 NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm David Kaplan. Everything brought to you on Sports Talk Live by the Chevy Silverado. Our panel, David Haas, Chicago Tribune, Mark Lazarus from the Sun-Times, and the Hall of Fame voice of the Blackhawks, the great Pat Foley. Pat, it never gets old to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and this should be a real good rivalry matchup, don't you believe?
Yeah, I think it will be, if for no other reason. The Predators are probably tired of hearing about the Blackhawks. You know, every time they've faced one another, the Hawks have been able to win. So in one of those series, the first time they got together in 2010, I mean, Nashville, that's as devastating a loss as any team can go through. I mean, they should have gone back home with a 3-1 lead in the series. They messed it up here at, the end. So anyway, it should be a pretty compelling matchup, I think.
You guys have been around the team every day for the last several months. At the beginning of the year, Nashville was a trendy pick to win the Cup. The Hawks, to me, seem like they're in a much better position now than they were a year ago to make a long run. Is this a good first-round matchup for the Hawks?
I think it's a tough one. I mean, this is not your typical second wild card caliber team. Like you said, a lot of us, myself included, had them at least go into the Stanley Cup final. You know, they have the forward depth the Hawks have, if not quite as much top-end talent. They have maybe a better blue line, a really active, aggressive blue line. What they don't have is Corey Crawford. I mean, Pekka Rinne has not been Pekka Rinne in 2 years now. He's become an ordinary average goalie, and if he can find his old form, the Predators can win this series. This is not some pushover cakewalk. We always talk about the parity in the NHL, and that's true. But even in terms of, typical 1-8 standards, this is a much closer matchup than it appears.
You've watched a ton of hockey in your career. If you were diagramming a blueprint to beat the Blackhawks, would you say you got offensive firepower, attack, or would you say keep the puck from them, be judicious, and take your opportunities when they come?
I think you do what Joe Quenneville typically would do against any other team. You try to manage the puck well and, like you said, not give it to the other guys. I mean, you want to have it. You want to control it. If you got it, they can't score. And look, at these, as much offense as everybody likes to see, it's more often than not, it's a 2-1, 3-2 type of game in the playoffs. So, but listen, to Mark's point, for sure this is the best offense the Nashville Predators have ever had. They've always been an offensively challenged team until the last couple of years. They've brought in a couple real nice pieces up in front. They've never been able to draft any of them, but they've been able to trade for some of them. And so their blue line is still rock solid. Pecorine, we'll see what he can bring. But it's a compelling matchup.
The one thing that's really interesting is that you have the Hawks, who I think have been reliant on a lot of young players. I mean, obviously the core is the core. They have more experience than any team in the West. But the youth, how are they going to adjust? Because the regular season is one thing, but as you guys know, the playoffs, definitely a different intensity level. Everything changes. How will they adapt?
Yeah, I think we make too much of that sometimes. I mean, Nick Schmaltz and Ryan Hartman, they have been with the NHL the entire season, basically. Schmaltz was maybe a month or two in Rockford. They don't feel like rookies anymore. They just feel like regular NHL players. And yeah, there's a huge jump up in competition and in pace and in physicality in the playoffs, and they're going to have to deal with that. But there's just three or four of them. You put Hayden and Caro in that mix too. They got a lot of guys they can lean on. Marian Hossa has been in 201 playoff games, and I think 6 or 7 other guys have played more than 100 playoff games. There is a calming presence in that room. When you're in that room compared to like other rooms, it's like, wow, it's the playoffs. We're excited. We're jittery. The Hawks are like, yeah, all right, we're ready. Let's do some business. And I think there's a very calming presence that those guys have.
Hey, here's our Sports Talk Live poll question for you today. CSNChicago.com/vote. Which Blackhawks rookie will have the most impact in the series? Hartman, Caro, Schmaltz, or Hayden? Again, CSNChicago.com/vote. Leaving the Cubs World Series run to the side, for me, a Cub fan, the game in 2010, Game 5, here on a Saturday afternoon, Kane scores a shorthanded goal with 15 seconds left. Hossa's in the box for 5 minutes, comes out of the box, and 7 seconds later, puck's in the back of the net. Hawks go on to win the series. That might be the most compelling game I've watched in 15 years in Chicago sports. Had the Hawks lost that game, how does it change their legacy, in your opinion?
And the Predators.
And the Predators.
Listen, no question about it. It goes both ways. It's pretty likely the Hawks don't win the Cup that year, the first one that they did pick up. I mean, Nashville should have gone back home with 3 wins in that series. So the Hawks went down there, beat them, and then, the series was over. General Manager David Poile is a really good guy, been around a long time, and seeing him after the end of that series, you could have landed an airplane on his lower lip. I mean, I really felt bad for the guy. That's how devastating that loss was. But look, that's a long time ago. It really was cool to think about that. And the shorthanded goal Kaner scored, I'm pretty sure he had never been on the ice killing a penalty the entire season until that moment.
Well,
how about that?
It's funny because, you talk about these moments where we always talk about how the Hawks are unkillable and unflappable and all these things. That was kind of the genesis point of that, where that was the game where they realized, holy cow, there's no situation we can't handle. And then you saw it time and time again. You saw it, in 2013 against the Red Wings. They're down 3-1. No worries, we can come back from that. You see that 2015 in Anaheim, down 3-2 going into Anaheim, whatever. Jonathan Toews is going to score a couple goals. We're going to be fine. And you see that was the genesis point. That was when the Blackhawks kind of graduated and became, that was their bar mitzvah of hockey. That's when they became men and realized what they could do and how good they were and how any situation wasn't too big for them.
What role, if any, do you think that last year's first-round exit plays in the motivation of this team now, especially with Jonathan Toews, who did not have a very good series against the Blues? And, that obviously gave them extra rest, and there's some physical, ramifications there, but mentally, in terms of motivation, do you think that has any impact on this series?
It's the biggest motivator there is. Believe me, that did not feel good to those guys. They've spent the last 12 months, 11 months waiting for the opportunity to get back at it. And look, I'm just going to say this from my own opinion. They've been killing time for the last month. They've known they're in. They've known they're going to have a good seed.
6 months.
Well, I mean, but, the whole goal was to try to win the division and make sure you make the playoffs. That's been in place for a long time. They've been trying to just get through this last month or 6 weeks, trying to stay healthy, trying to play well. But now it gets to that next level. And I think they've been motivated ever since Game 7 ended last year. That's been forefront in their minds.
It's different. You think about the last time they were coming off a first-round loss, and they were coming off consecutive ones going into that 2013 playoffs. And if they did it again, if they had lost in that Red Wings series, this whole thing is getting blown up. We know Joel Quenneville was this close to being fired in the 2012 spring. This close. And if they fail again in 2013, they're blowing up. They're taking Kane and Taves and removing everybody else and rebuilding around them. They were going to become one-hit wonders. That was a different kind of motivation. Now it's like Pat says, they're talking about their legacies now. I mean, everything they get from here on in is gravy in their careers. These guys are all icons. They're going to have statues. So if every time you lose in the first round now, they're not panicking and they're not worried like they were in 2013, and they were worried in 2013. Now it's just about, we should be winning as many Stanley Cups, hoarding as many Stanley Cups as you can during this window.
You've been around this team forever. Your great partner, Edzo, said today that other than that 2010 game on that Saturday, he said the tipping point for him was when Jonathan Toews picked up back-to-back penalties against Detroit. Brent Seabrook went to the box, calmed him down, and then Seabrook scored the game winner in overtime. He said for him that was a huge moment for this franchise. Do you agree?
I totally agree. And until that moment, we had never seen anybody get in Jonathan Toews' kitchen. Henrik Zetterberg did that night. And it had been building up throughout the series. And I think it was the second or third straight penalty, and it was a bad penalty. Goes to the box, and Siebes goes over there and opens the door. And now they sit together in the Plains. They've been great friends ever since they started as Blackhawks in pro hockey. That was a big, big moment for a tremendous leader who's almost never needed anybody to pick him up. That was a needed pickup right there.
Don't forget Seabrook also in that postseason. After that, Taves still wasn't scoring, and Seabrook went up to him and basically said, look, you got to start scoring some goals. This is, it's great that you win faceoffs and play defense. That's not what you're here for. Go score some damn goals. And he went out and he started scoring some goals.
Thank you for being here.
Great to be with you. Can't wait to get game one going.
Late into June, buddy.
That's the plan.
All right, we'll
Thanks.
take a timeout. We'll come back, and the Hall of Famer Dennis Savard will join the panel. We'll also get the Nashville perspective before we get out of here, before In the Loop takes over. Be right back. You're watching Sports Talk Live at CSN.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at O'Reilly Auto, Home Depot, Pep Boys, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
This is the Silverado Special Edition.
This is one gorgeous truck.
Oh, did I say there was only one Special Edition? Because actually there's 5.
Nice. Strength and style.
Make a strong decision. Find your tag and get 16% below MSRP on select Silverado 1500 pickups in stock. That's over $7,900 on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Whatever you're getting ready for, come into Supercuts for our attention to detail and signature hot towel finish. So you're not just ready, but super ready. Check in online today.
A DirecTV Cinema exclusive premiere.
Got a business trip coming up? Have a dog and don't know where to leave him? Come and visit Blue Creek. Say goodbye to your family.
What is this?
The real Blue Creek.
I've been brought here by mistake.
From now on, you're number 463. Find movies kids love on DirecTV Cinema.
I'm only here for a blue dress. Blue dress, blue dress. Ooh, blue dress, blue dress, blue dress. Blue dress.
Sometimes it's hard to leave Goodwill with just one thing.
Ah, blue dress.
But it's okay. With your Club Goodwill Rewards card, you can earn points with every purchase for even more savings.
You always amaze me.
For all the dealerships I have dealt with, Bill Jacobs BMW has been the best experience by far.
Low pressure sales, very comfortable to deal with.
Delivering a superior automotive experience. That's the goal at Bill Jacobs BMW. It's the ultimate driving machine that brings you here, but the experience will make you a customer for life. Bill Jacobs BMW, the cars bring you in, the experience brings you back. Aurora Avenue in Naperville. Get 0% APR for 72 months on select BMW certified courtesy vehicles.
Remember, it's it's not officially Blackhawks playoff hockey season unless you hear Pat Foley and Eddie Olczyk call the action. CSN, the only place where you can get the hometown call. Game 1 tonight at 7 with Pat and Edzo, only on CSN. Man, what an honor to welcome the Hall of Famer, the great Dennis Savard, to our set. Wearing that nice piece of hardware. Hopefully a fourth one is coming your way. How are you, Savvy?
I'm good, guys. Thank you. Nice to having me on here. It's been a fun season, as we all know. Great playoffs are coming up. You know, and I know you're going to ask me a lot of questions, but I got to tell you that yesterday I was watching the playoffs. You know, watching a couple games. It kept going back and forth. The Montreal Canadian game and the Pittsburgh game and the Oilers game later on, and Minnesota and St. Louis. And of all the years that I played, and I know there was pace in our game somewhat, not like today, but yesterday, especially maybe in the last decade, I can't believe how much of a pace the game was yesterday in game 1. It was fast, furious, hard, physical. And I kind of asked that question to myself last night. You know, I said, did I really watch the games in between games when we didn't play? You know, because I know by watching yesterday, I'd be intimidating going to a game tonight from a player. Because if you're not
just from watching that?
Just from watching. Because if you're not ready, you know, if the other team is ready, like the teams were ready yesterday. I mean, Montreal Rangers, it was fast. I mean, it was great pace. Minnesota, St. Louis was a great pace. Edmonton and San Jose. But if you're not ready to go, I mean, and see the pace that I saw last night, you know, guys will be surprised.
This is going to be a great pace for the series. But is this team better than you thought it would be at the beginning of the year because of the way the young players have developed?
We are definitely better. I mean, it's not, and it doesn't take a brain surgeon to know that. And I think, personally, you know, I mean, it's a lot of expectation. This organization wants to go on and win the big trophy at the end of the day, right? That's what they're here for. That's what they want to do. But I think we're a better team for a lot of reasons, and I think we're a better team than 2015 because our kids have come along. You know, I mean, Schmaltz.
That would make this team good enough to win it all.
Hartman, I mean, you know, and the biggest thing I think that our management has done over the summer until now is we got a lot of depth on defense. And to go all the way to the Stanley Cup, you need depth on that position. You know, we'll see, and I hope that I'm wrong on this, but the first 6 starters are going to play tonight. Hopefully they're there at the end of June, but most likely not. They're going to be in and out of the lineup, getting hurt, and, you know, being banged up a little bit. So you need really to be deep in that position. So I think we're in good shape there, and with our kids, the way they've grown this year, you know, I know I've named only 2 of them, but, you know, even Panic, you know, he's not a kid, but he's been not around the NHL a long time now. He's been, you know, a great player for us. So expectations are high. I know that, but, you know, I think we're a better team. I think they've done a great job, not only for today, but for tomorrow as well.
By the way, check out the poll results right there on your TV screen at home. Go ahead, Laz.
Hayden. All right, surprised. No, I'm just saying that's a big statement, saying this is better than that 2015 team. The third line on that team was Patrick Sharp, Brandon Saad, and Antoine Vermette. I mean, that was a pretty good lineup they had that year.
It was, no question.
But you're right, certainly on defense. I mean, they were playing 4 guys on defense basically the entire playoffs.
I think I look at the Mark overall picture. You know, I think we're our better team. I mean, because how deep we are and how faster we are. I think we're a faster team. You know, and you look at the pace, like I said, of the other games yesterday and throughout the whole season. You know, you got to be a fast team, and I think we're good that way.
You looked at Hayden as people expect him to be the rookie that stands out. A month ago, he's playing college hockey.
Yeah.
And it's a great story. And what you talked about, watching the games last night, the pace of the playoffs and how it intensifies. How equipped is this guy like that to make that adjustment? Mark has downplayed, you know, these rookies are going to be ready. They played the entire season.
Well, the other
NHL.
3.
How is a guy like that going to be ready for this challenge?
I think he's going to respond well at it. I'll tell you why. You know, of course, the first 3-4 games he played, he was, you know, one of our best players. And he looked like he was on the ice most of those nights. And then obviously, you know, you kind of tailed off after that. That's normal. You know, you're new in the league and you're coming in and, you know, you're excited and so forth. Teams don't know you yet. But I think what he gives us among our kids is size and net presence. And he's a big boy. So we need that in the playoffs. I think he's going to be, you know, you look all the goals where they're scored, you know, I'm not telling anybody secrets here, and especially you guys, you know, following the games all the time, is, you know, the goals are scored from me to Cap. and he's going to be that guy that's going to do that a lot in the playoffs.
What is your take on Corey Crawford? He had a tremendous start. He got the appendectomy. Wasn't quite as sharp coming out of it. Where is he right now?
He's Stanley Cup champions twice. You can't replace that. And I think in bigger games, he's shown that he's who Corey is. And, you know, we always got to think of your goaltenders, not just the goalie itself. I mean, we have a great duo here with Scotty and him. He's never been a concern for me. You know, over the years, you know, we've always talked about, because it's the most important position in playoffs, the goaltending. But we know he's all about. He's a winner. He comes to play. He's a fighter. He battles. So for me, there is no concern. I know that, you know, he was hurt early in the year here, middle of the year, sometime when he got his surgery, but Corey's going to be fine. He's just a great competitor.
Thank you for your time.
Love you guys. Thank you.
You're the best.
Good to be on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Thank you.
Man, there you go. The great Hall of Famer Dennis Savard. We'll get the Nashville perspective next. What type of matchup do they expect down in music country? We'll get that thought coming up right here on CSN.
This is the Silverado Special Edition.
This is one gorgeous truck.
Oh, did I say there was only one special edition? Because actually there's 5.
Nice. Strength and style.
Make a strong decision. Find your tag and get 16% below MSRP on select Silverado 1500 pickups in stock. That's over $7,900 on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
And it's down to a free throw. He's at the line. It's a miss, but oh man. We could have a bit of a delay, but we'll be back with overtime.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Is this the season ending for the Montreal Canadiens? The New York Rangers with a huge upset. Ovechkin and Crosby being broken up by Greg.
They dislike each other, despise each other, detest and loathe each other. So to every bitter rival, we say thank you. Because the one you hate the most, you also can't live without.
Hey, tonight is the playoff opener for the Blackhawks, and given recent history, they'd better have plenty of free coffee for the guys in the press box. Check out Stat of the Day, driven by the Chevy Silverado. In each of the past 5 years, Blackhawks have gone to overtime in their first playoff game, including 2 years ago in Nashville when they beat the Predators in double overtime. The Tennessee's Adam Vingen joins us now. He remembers that well. What type of a matchup is this going to be? I saw an article on NHL.com that picked the Predators to win the Stanley Cup. There are people here that believe the Hawks are going to walk to the next round. Where are you on this matchup?
I mean, I think this is going to be the most competitive of the 3 playoff series these two teams have had. I think this Predators team is the most talented roster they've ever had, just based on skill and talent. You have Ryan Johansson, of course, PK Subban, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Victor Arvidsson. This is going to be a very fast-paced series. I know that traditionally the Predators are a very hard-working team when they came into the league. Not a lot of firepower, not a lot of star power. They've really evolved under Peter Laviolette over the last 3 years to become that fast-paced, offensive-minded team. And I think they're ready for the Blackhawks. I know that a lot of people picked the Blackhawks to win this series and advance far into the playoffs. Not very many people picking the Predators, even though they were a very trendy Stanley Cup finalist pick. As Mark would know, he picked them in the
to lose
to a team that didn't make the playoffs in the Tampa Bay Lightning. So all said, I think this is going to be a very good series. This Predators team has a better chance of any of of the previous teams to ever make the playoffs to make a long run.
So I think Victor Arvidsson is a guy that casual fans are not that familiar with. He's become one of my favorite players in the league to watch. He's phenomenally talented. 30 goals scored this year. Was this supposed to happen? Was this breakout season expected, or did he come out of nowhere?
I mean, I think they expected him to be a good player, but not this soon. He was tied for the team lead with Philip Forsberg with 31 goals, tied for the team lead in 61 points with Ryan Johansson. This is my favorite statistic. Of players that played last season, so excluding rookies, no player in the NHL had a better year-over-year improvement in points than Victor Arvidsson. He went from 16 points to 61 points. That's a 45-point improvement. I'm really bad at math, but I made sure to double-check that before I came on the air. They know that he was a high-quality player. He led the AHL in shots on goal in the 14-15 season, so they know that he can put the puck on the net. But to say that they expected this, David Poile, I asked him that a couple of days ago if he expected this at the beginning of the season. He said, if you would have told me that, I may have said it was a stretch. But he's been a great first-line player. He makes everyone around him better.
Which Pekka Rinne do you think the Hawks will see?
I think they need to see the one that can steal a series. He's not an elite goaltender anymore. He's a good to great goaltender who can put on elite-type performances, but he's not going to be among a Vezina Trophy finalist goaltender anymore in his career. He's 34 years old. He'll be 35 in November, but can still put on really great performances. In Games 6 and 7 last year against Anaheim in the first round, they were down 3-2 in the series. He stopped 62 of 64 shots in Games 6 and 7 to eliminate the Ducks in the Predators' first ever Game 7 to advance to the second round. So he had a better year this year. Having UC Saros as a capable backup allowed him to rest a little bit more. But as Peter Laviolette said, Pekka's our guy. So if you're expecting a Corey Crawford, Scott Darling situation from 2 years ago, I don't think you're going to see it.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Boys, late night in the press box, baby.
Overtime.
Thanks for being here.
Overtime.
All right, that is going to put a wrap on this edition of Sports Talk Live. In the Loop is coming up. John McDonough and Pat Boyle are going to be here as well. A lot to do. We will see you tomorrow right here on Sports Talk. In the Loop with Luke and Layla upstairs here at the United Center next. Have fun.
This is the Silverado Special Edition.
This is one gorgeous truck.
Oh, did I say there was only one special edition? Because actually there's 5.
Nice. Strength and style.
Make a strong decision. Find your tag and get 16% below MSRP on select Silverado 1500 pickups in stock. That's over $7,900 on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
A number is just a number until you wear it. And what it means depends on what you do. So we'd like to say thank you to every single number that's ever been stitched onto an NHL sweater for becoming just as significant as the name above it.
This is our magnificent mile and a half. These are our monsters of the Speedway. And this is our kind of town. This is Chicagoland Speedway, the Windy City's home for NASCAR and summer's last big party. The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs start here. Get your tickets now at chicagolandspeedway.com.
Derek Holland, and you're watching CSN, the home of your Chicago White Sox, presented by State Farm.
Kane now, juking his way to the right, lower left corner. Shoots, he score! The Hawks win the Stanley Cup! Lord Stanley's new address is Sweet Home Chicago.
They battle in the corner. It's finessed by Keith around for a feed in front. Score! Taves to Beckel. Help to the back. O'Duya shot deflected. Scramble. They score! 2 goals in 17 seconds. The Blackhawks are Stanley Cup champions.
Saad escapes with the puck. Over the Lightning line left wing. Drop pass Richard. Closes it. Put it across. They score! It's Patrick Kane with his first goal of the final. It's 2-0 Hawks. For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's 1 goal achieved.
3 is nice, but 4 Stanley Cups in 8 seasons has an awfully nice ring to it. The quest begins tonight, and the Stanley Cup is with us in the building, in the loop, right here on the west side of the Madhouse on Madison. Hello and welcome to the 300 level for this playoff edition of In the Loop presented by Comcast Business.
I can't believe we're out of the studio right now.
They let us free.
And you have a baby Stanley Cup. He's Luke, I'm Layla. It is showtime. Let's get you what you need to know as we get ready for game 1 of the playoffs. Guess what? Even Jonathan Taves gets a little nervous.
Plenty of butterflies, not just the first game. I think you know you're in the playoffs when you get that feeling again, you get that excitement and the nerves kick in. And I think it just means you really want to win, and you know it's exciting. I think when guys look at that as a good sign, it's something you gotta use the right way. We got a lot of young talent, guys that are eager to prove themselves, and a lot of experience to hopefully direct this team in the right direction. So we don't want to wait for things to happen. We got to go make it happen and get off, like I said, off to a good start in the first game tonight.
Craig Hartman, Ryan Hartman's dad, with the tweet of the day so far. 5 a.m. skates to road trips across North America. I never dreamed I'd be watching Ryan play in the NHL playoffs tonight. Proud dad, hashtag Blackhawks. That is awesome.
It is, and with more from what you need to know, now we send it down to the host of Blackhawks pre- and post-game live. Pat Boyle joins us with a very special guest. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Layla, good evening. I'm with the president and CEO of the Chicago Blackhawks, John McDonough. We just saw the tweet from Ryan Hartman's dad, and that's just it's another great story as a Chicago kid that is playing with this team. But when you look back, John, at all the influx of young players this year that have played vital roles in getting the Hawks to the top seed in the West, has it validated the job that hockey ops, scouting, have been doing for you? It's been great success on the ice, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are putting those players in position.
Pat, it absolutely has, especially in light of the fact, we're generally picking in the mid-20s or 30th, and the job that Mark Kelly's done, our director, or vice president of amateur scouting, and you see Ryan Hartman, and you see Nick Schmaltz, and you see, although a college free agent, Tanner Caro, and now you see John Hayden and Vinny Hinestroza. And I think these young players, they bring a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. The veterans are there. They're going to answer the bell. That they've been here before. But I think that that energy and the enthusiasm can carry us a long way.
We always talk to the players before the first Stanley Cup playoff game. What are the nerves like? What are you thinking? Are you ready for the speed? What's it like for the president? Where are the nerves at?
Well, it's the anticipation. We've been here before. You wouldn't be human if you're not a little bit nervous. Obviously, Nashville is formidable, very, very good opponent. We had a 4-1 record against them during the season, but the regular season does not resemble the playoffs. It's a different level on and off the ice. You can feel it in the building. You can see it on the ice. So it's exciting. It's been a fun day, and hopefully we're gonna be playing for a few more months.
That sounds good. You can't win without great players, and the core guys on this team that have won the 3 Stanley Cups, they have got the praise they deserve. A lot of times, though, people may fly under the radar, and Stan Bowman and Joel Quenneville come to mind as 2 individuals that maybe don't get the credit they deserve for this epic run that this franchise has been on.
They don't get the credit they deserve, but they're not the type of guys who want it. You know, to me, I believe Stan is the premier general manager in the National Hockey League, and I think Joel is the best coach in the National Hockey League. Joel has not won the Jack Adams Award. Stan has not won the General Manager of the Year Award.
Which is mind-boggling to think.
It's incomprehensible, but we're not as concerned about the individual awards, you know, as we are as the organization and the team winning. Ultimately, you know, over the past 8 or 9 years, we've had consistency, we've had collaboration. From 1997 to 2007, we had 5 general managers and 7 head coaches. You can't exist that way. So in the last 8 or 9 years, the continuity of Joel being here now for 8 or 9 years, Stan being here for 8 or 9 years, the consistency is important. They've both excelled. They're at the top of their game.
Well, good luck in this series, and let's do this again on In the Loop, maybe before the second round, if that would like that,
Pat. Very much. Thank you.
All right, let's send it back upstairs to Luke and Layla.
Well, Pat, thank you so much. We are looking forward to more Blackhawks pregame live. That is, of course, coming up at the top of the hour.
And that brings us, of course, to one of our staples on the show every night, our Lexus must-see video, Experience Amazing. And tonight, we have some of the top calls of the year from our very own Pat Foley.
Taves will gain the line. Taves at the forehand, shooting. Save, rebound, they score. Hawks win. Patrick Kane, OT, GWG. Patrick Kane, a highlight reel goal. Seabrook to Panarin one-timer. He scores! Artemi Panarin with a bullet. Another one-time power play goal from 72 White. Wow, a guy without a point this year tried to go showtime on us. Here's the center pass, box the shot. Crawford, a spectacular save. Crawford with his best save of the night. Now it's Markov, a long shot, hit traffic. What a save by Crawford on Shaw. The Hawks, after scoring 2 in 17, now have scored another one 17 seconds after that. Oh, what a save by Darling, post to deny Eaves. Scott Darling, a spectacular move. Hossa on the shot, he scores, Hawks win. This one is good. Marian Hossa. McKenzie's just eating it from panic. He's going to get 5 minutes for receiving.
Oh, the sweet sounds of Pat Foley. The only place you can get that tonight is right here on CSN Chicago. Pat and Eddie with the call of Game 1 tonight just after 7 o'clock right here on CSN.
Our resident hockey and fashion expert Jamal Mayers gives us an assist with our live fan vote. Here is the question of Jammer's Fab 5. Who is the best dressed Blackhawks player? Is it Corey Crawford, Nicholas Jalmerson, Marian Hossa, or Marcus Kruger? Jonathan Taves on the list as well. Vote. The polls are open. We want to hear what you have to say. This is In the Loop as we get you ready for puck drop.
We're out of ink. Ink. Not ink.
Printing doesn't have to be painful. Now, during HP Savings Month at Staples, get up to $180 off HP printers.
Ace Bounce is an immense ping pong playground located in the heart of downtown Chicago, where award-winning chefs and mixologists meet a one-of-a-kind party experience. Perfect for groups of any size, and now serving bottomless brunch on weekends. Ace Bounce is the place where partying and ping pong collide.
Chapter 13 debt repayment plans can deal with lawsuits, foreclosures, car payments, credit cards, payday loans, repossessions, tax debts, medical bills, and more. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Get one lower payment for all debt and stop creditors now. We're the law firm you trust to get you out of debt.
When you need to be debt-free, call 1-800-CALL-PFG. That's 1-800-CALL-PFG.
Hi, can you help us with a Tough Shed storage building?
Would you like something like this?
That's perfect!
Cool. Do you guys sell Tough Shed garages too? We sure do, and I can help.
Great, thanks.
It's easy to buy your Tough Shed building at the Home Depot. Call, visit, or configure a building online. Right now, choose 3 upgrades for free on installed Sundance Series sheds, plus no interest if paid in full within 6 months on Tough Shed purchases.
Success requires hard work. No way around it. Realize timing is key. Be willing to push yourself. Stay in control. Trust technology to support you. My father once said, "It doesn't matter what you do in life, just be the best at it."
Reuse 2-0, crank to left. It will go. Hello, Waveland.
Addy goes whammy, the longest hit ball of the Cubs season so far, an estimated 429 feet by Addison Russell onto the streets in Wrigleyville. Cubs win the game and the series. They've now taken 2 out of 3 games in all 3 series to start the season.
Oh, the Bulls tweeted this to their roommates today. Good luck in the playoffs. We're rooting for you. Hashtag 1 goal. Jimmy Butler looking very sharp in his sweater, by the way. So it is Throwback Thursday, and that means we get into the archives after this great neon graphic. Today,
Bowling back, Sopel a drive, skipped in front, score!
Back to Keith, a long shot. He scores! Hawks win! Hawks win! A board battle won by the Hawks, started by Saad. Keith's long shot eluding the glove side of Rene. Hawks, who were down 3-love, win it!
Keith takes the drive, fakes it again. Drive! Score!
Time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. The memories. The Hawks, of course, knocked the Preds out of the postseason in both 2010 and 2015, and experience is on their side. The Hawks have a combined 1,423 playoff games played and 30 combined Stanley Cups amongst their players. That is the most of any current playoff team. Comcast Business, built for business.
so before we really get to the playoffs, we wanted to appreciate how the Blackhawks got here, and that is, of course, with an amazing regular season.
Yeah, we like to call it the list. Here it is. It is a full offseason in the making. We start with Haas, stuck on 499 goals between seasons. Marian Hossa became the 44th player in NHL history to record 500 goals on October 18th against the Flyers. Hossa became just the 5th player ever to accomplish the feat in a Blackhawk sweater.
On December 3rd, Corey Crawford was scratched from the lineup due to an emergency appendectomy. Enter Eric Szymborski, the former Temple University club goalie, was working at the Flyers practice rink and was able to make it to the arena in Philly to be the Hawks' backup and take part in pregame warm-ups. He even got a mask from Scott Darling and a Topps hockey card to commemorate the day.
On December 28th, the Blackhawks locked up part of their future by signing Artemi Panarin to a contract extension. The bridge deal gave the bread man more paper, and he delivered, becoming the first Blackhawk in franchise history to record 30 goals in each of his first 2 seasons.
Hat tricks for everyone. It all started on October 15th with Richard Panik and 3 goals against the Predators in a 5-3 win. Hat trick number 2 came courtesy of Ryan Hartman. In the weirdest of ways, all goals in the 3rd period, 2 of which were empty netters. Once again, a win over the Preds. Then the Hawks had 3 Hatties in 4 games. Jonathan Toews with 5 points, 3 goals, and 2 assists, February 21st at the Wild. 2 days later, Patrick Kane lit the lamp 3 times against the Arizona Coyotes in a 6-3 victory on the West Side. Kane would strike again on March 1st against the Pens. The Hawks blew out Sid the Kid 4-1.
More milestones for the vets. Within a month of each other, Hawks defensemen Brian Campbell and Duncan Keith recorded their 500th career points. Out of more than 2,000 defensemen in NHL history, Keith and Campbell are two of 61 D-men to accomplish that amazing feat.
Glenn Hall, Tony Esposito, Ed Belfour. That was your list of Blackhawks goalies to register 200 wins until Corey Crawford joined that list January 22nd. The Hawks beat Vancouver 4-2, vaulting Crow into the record books.
January 27th, the NHL Top 100 was released. 9 Blackhawks made the list, including legends Stan Mikita, Bobby Hull, and Dennis Savard. Duncan Keith, Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane also included as the NHL honored the top 100 players in their 100 years of existence.
March 19th, the Hawks played 2 awful periods against the Avs. Then they got to work. Down 3-1 to start the third, the Hawks scored 3 goals in 34 seconds to take the lead. The second and third goals were 17 seconds apart. That's right, shades of the 2013 Cup Final, as the Hawks beat the Avs 6-3. Well, that was pretty fun. And what about this? Artemi Panarin, just one simple word for Twitter at 7:20 this morning. Exciting. You don't say, Artemi. You don't say.
One word is all you need. Well, yesterday I had a very special day with Lord Stanley. Stick around for the sights and sounds on how to properly spend the day with the world's most famous trophy. And you can keep voting right now. Who is the best dressed Blackhawk? Is it Crow? Is it Shelley? Is it Hossa, Krugs, or Taser? Go online right now, csnchicago.com/vote. Your vote matters. Your vote matters. In the loop, coming right back.
For a great deal, get the Schaumburg Honda automobiles during our spring sales drive.
During the Honda Dream Garage sales event, lease a CRV for only $199 a month or get 0.9% financing for 60 months.
Be sure to see us before you buy.
Bob Rohrman.
Bob Rohrman, Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road in Schaumburg.
Meet the all-new Works GT 2.0. It's a powerful grass trimmer, a precision edger, and even a handy mini mower, all in one lightweight, maneuverable cordless machine. The Works GT2 is powered by a lithium battery with almost twice the capacity of previous models. Dual position wheels support and guide the machine, and it's fully adjustable, so you can easily trim in hard-to-reach places. Get your own Works GT 2.0 today.
Spring is on, so it's time to get started. But first things first, call True Green, America's #1 professional lawn care company. Millions of homeowners like you trust us to give them a lawn they can live on. And tailored care plans ensure their lawns get exactly what they need to thrive. Guaranteed. That means you can do more of this, this, and this. Okay, maybe not this. Start your True Green lawn plan today for only $29.95 and live life outside. Plus, True Green now offers mosquito defense, so don't wait, act now.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at O'Reilly Auto, Home Depot, Pep Boys, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
The White Sox tweeted this medal-winning picture of Kaner, Keith, Seabrook, and Toews, tweeting, "Good luck in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Bring the cup back to Chicago. #1goal." Speaking of the cup, Luke, you had your day with it yesterday.
Woo-hoo. Back off, Boyle. It's not your day with the cup. How about it across the river? Woo! Stanley! Stanley Cup, baby! Woo! We got the cup! Get off the boat! Ooh, yeah. Just right. Oh, yeah. right. There was a dog's in this. Huh? You want to kiss the cup? It's good luck. There it is. That's 10 years good luck. Woo! Bunch of beauties, yeah! New top ring, not even engraved yet. Put it over your head like a champion. Yes. Give me a hug. Come on, I need a hug. Yeah! UPS! UPS! UPS!
This is crazy. How long are you going to have this thing?
109 points this season. Now 109 donuts. Have one. That's Black Hawk Red Velvet.
I'm just going to.
This is magical. Here you go.
Yes!
Here you go. Do it. Oh, yeah! Sweet taste of victory.
Woo!
Woo! Fruit Loops for in the loop. Oh! I love you, Stanley. I was tuckered out.
Did you at least wash it at any time?
Well, you're the one that drank out of it. I don't know about that decision, but let me tell you, the Blackhawks win the cup so often and they're so generous that now what's going on is they're giving the cup out before the playoffs start, so I had my day before the playoffs even begin. Thank you to the NHL for that.
Something tells me that's not the actual.
Yeah, it's right here. We get it for another day.
I really wish you had washed it.
You never should have been drinking out of it, I'll tell you that. Once again, our live fan vote question, Jammers Fab 5, who is the best dressed Blackhawks player? Is it Crawford, Hjalmarsson, Hossa, Kruger? Vote right now, csnchicago.com/vote. We're back with insight from the list maker himself, Jammer, coming up on In the Loop.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Is this the season ending for the Montreal Canadiens? With the huge upset. Ovechkin and Crosby being broken up by Greg.
They dislike each other,
These guys are going to be bitter enemies.
despise each other, detest and loathe each other. So to every bitter rival, we say thank you. Because the one you hate the most, you also can't live without.
Now playing on DirecTV Cinema.
It's about family.
You've come a long way, little one.
It's about love.
I'm lost. Let me help you.
It's about finding your way home.
I'm starting to remember. I had another family.
It's the feel-good movie we all need.
They need to know I'm okay.
An amazing true story.
I have to find my way back home.
One of the best pictures of the year.
You're a beautiful boy.
Lion. Movies start at Channel 125.
Did you know that the average funeral can cost more than $8,300? I didn't want my family burdened with the cost of my funeral, so I called Final Expense Direct and got a policy of my own. For as little as $1 a day, Final Expense Direct has policies that can help pay the cost of your funeral. Plus, you'll get this free family relief guide. There's no medical exam, and my policy can't be canceled.
Call now for a free quote. Call 800-672-6157.
I'm only here for a blue dress. Blue dress, blue dress. Blue dress, blue dress, blue dress. Blue dress.
Sometimes it's hard to leave Goodwill with just one thing.
Ah, blue dress.
But it's okay. With your Club Goodwill Rewards card, you can earn points with every purchase for even more savings.
You always amaze me.
Well, of course, course, the Blackhawks are not the only ones growing playoff beards. Our coworkers are as well. It is the In-Loop Beardathon. This is your day one check of Lou Malarejo, Rob Wietrowski, and Matt Rooney. These are our coworkers who are up for the challenge. I didn't shave my face either, actually.
They look like three criminals. Look like real
So we'll be
mugshots.
checking in on the Beardathon. That said, it is time to be joined by a Stanley Cup champion, a fashion expert in his own right, and most importantly, our CSN Blackhawks analyst, Jamal Mayers. Hey, Jammer.
Jammer, you're a general know-it-all.
Some playoff hockey or what?
I mean, we're trying.
What's that?
We got the cup
We
here
have
with
a fake
us.
cup behind us. Luke thinks it's real. You're here to help us out with some fashion tips before we get going, right?
Give us your list. Who's the best?
Well, obviously, I picked 5 guys that have great style. Corey Crawford is certainly on the list. He upped his game. And look at this. How can you go wrong with Hammer and the fur when it's cold outside? He's got a little bit of a fur neck going right there. And the Don Juan, Mr. Hossa, he's got it done right there with the white collar. This guy is he's never ages. Look at him, Marcus Kruger. Good-looking kid, looks like a young Steve Yzerman. And the captain steps up his game. He does have the resources to step it up, though. Let's be honest. He has the ability, but he wears it well. Good for him. For me,
this is right down
I don't know,
the
guys.
wire. I
think I got to give it to
is.
Hammer. Oh, the fans are going with Kruger.
Look at that.
I think that most of the women voted. They're just looking at his face. They're not really looking at his suit.
That's the Swedish surprise right there. Kruger over. Tell us something good about tonight's game one for us quickly.
Something good is I hope everyone got their sleep, because the last 5 playoff games to start a series, the last 5 years, the Blackhawks in game 1 went to overtime. Well, the fact that it's Good Friday tomorrow, hopefully the kids don't have school, because it is a school night. And obviously the Hawks have done that repeatedly. They've gone to overtime. I'm hoping they end this in regulation, but there's no question about it. They'll be ready to start.
I think hockey is a good excuse for a late or absence in school. If they keep us up late, they keep us up late.
We are rested and ready for 16 wins in a row here, Jammer, and we're looking forward to your outfits and your insight coming up on the pregame show.
If a payday loan isn't quite what you're looking for, try a Speedy Cash installment loan. You can get more cash, up to $1,500 with our convenient payment plan. Talk to one of our friendly associates about a Speedy Cash installment loan today.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Success requires hard work. No way around it. Realize timing is key. Be willing to push yourself. Stay in control. Trust technology to support you. My father once said, "Doesn't matter what you do in life, just be the best at it."
Great savings are par for the course during the spring sales drive at Oak Brook Toyota in Westmont.
Right now, drive a brand new Toyota Camry with 0% APR financing for 72 months and $1,000 customer cash back.
Bob Rohrman. Bob Rohrman's Oak Brook Toyota in Westmont, only 5 minutes west of the Tri-State on Ogden Avenue.
Looking good, Mr. Slow Motion Walking DXL Shopping Fashion Stud. Looking good. All the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, DXL. You're looking good.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Ace Bounce is an immense ping pong playground located in the heart of downtown Chicago, where award-winning chefs and mixologists meet a one-of-a-kind party experience. Perfect for groups of any size, and now serving bottomless brunch on weekends. Ace Bounce is the place where partying and ping pong collide.
Speedy Cash is the name you can trust for delivering cash fast. Speedy Cash has competitive rates, fast, friendly service, and most importantly, they're state licensed. Relax. Speedy Cash has you covered.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Here comes the most famous mustache in Chicago, and here come the Hawks. The quest for the 7th Stanley Cup in franchise history begins tonight. The Hawks and Predators will meet in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 3rd time. We'll have game 1 of this opening round matchup at 7 o'clock. Pat Foley, Eddie Olczyk have the call. We will set the table next.
This is Chevy Blackhawks pregame live.
For the 9th consecutive season, the Hawks are in the tournament for Lord Stanley's Cup, and these folks, I think they're ready to go. Welcome into Blackhawks pregame live, presented by your Chevy dealers. Just off the gate 3 entrance on the west side, 1901 West Madison. You got Steve Conroy, Jamal Mayers. I am Pat Boyle. Guys, we are, 1 hour away from the start of the best tournament in professional sports, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Take us in that locker room right now. What's going through the players' minds?
Well, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves. They realize that, the best thing to do is to keep it simple. Go out there and win your next shift. You can't win the series in this first game. You can put yourself certainly in a hole, but you just want to go out there, keep it simple, get into a flow, and start feeling good about your game.
Yeah, there's no question, Steve. They're talking about, let's get off to a good start. Let's focus on the first 10 minutes. Let's make sure we're a disciplined team out there. There's going to be a lot of emotion, particularly early on in this hockey game. You've got to find a way to keep that inside and not you want to initiate, not retaliate. Once they focus on that first 10 minutes, get a few shots, get their bodies into the game, it'll feel like a regular game. But that first 10 minutes is what they're going to be chatting about.
These two guys will break down this game from every angle imaginable. We also want to get your thoughts as well. Grab your mobile device or your laptop and go to csnchicago.com/vote. In a few minutes, we'll have our live fan vote, and we will monitor your thoughts throughout the show. Time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. It's the 3rd meeting in the postseason between these two division foes. Hawks, of course, won the first 2 back in 2010. They won that one in 6 games. Antti Niemi had 2 shutouts. Taves had 8 points. Kane had 4 goals and 3 helpers in that meeting. 2015, another first-round matchup that went 6 games, also to the Hawks. Taves, Kane, and Duncan Keith all had 2 goals and 5 assists. Comcast Business, built for business. Now, I know this team is completely different from the last 2 we saw face the Blackhawks in the playoffs, but the past tells us they're going to give us a difficult time, regardless of the fact that the Hawks won 4 of the 5 regular season meetings.
Absolutely. I go back to 2 years ago. Remember when the Nashville Predators gave him a difficult time in the 2015 playoffs? Shea Weber played in only 1 of those games. He was injured in game 2, so they put the Blackhawks basically to the ropes without one of their best players. So they've got PK Subban now, they got Ryan Johansson now. I think that Philip Forsberg is a different player. He's a lot better. And Victor Arvidsson, a big part of their offense. I think they're a team that you got to be worried about.
Yeah, they're 4 lines deep, and there's no question. They can play with a lot of pace, and they've been known to get on the Blackhawks, particularly on the forecheck, and early on in hockey games, really dominate the first 10 minutes. So it's going to be important for the Hawks to manage that, protect the puck, protect their position, particularly early on as they try to pressure and force the Blackhawks to make turnovers in the defensive zone. So they have to manage that puck particularly early on.
With more on this first round matchup between the Hawks and Preds. It's time for our Coors Light game report. For that, we say hello to Chris Book. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening. Instead of outside the Blackhawks room, we're up here at the 300 level. I got my own people here while you guys have your own people, although a lot more down at the concourse. 7 current Blackhawks go all the way back to that 2010 series, compared to just 2 of the Nashville Predators, their goalie Pekka Rinne and Colin Wilson, who didn't even have a locker stall assigned to him because of his lower body injury. Not even sure if he traveled. Then, of course, Jordan Tutu has switched sides now as a member of the Blackhawk. You guys broke it all down in terms of both of those series going 6. Each of the first 2 games was split early on in that series, and building upon what you, Steve, and Jamal were saying, the Blackhawks, who have been around for all 3 series, know this is a much deeper, much more skilled, and much different Nashville team than the one they saw 7 years ago.
And they got guys up front that can really test you and make plays through you, so you gotta be aware of that. And again, I think tonight we'll go into that first game with that mentality that we don't have to score. We don't have to outscore them. We just got to play smart defense and not give up much, and from there we'll let our offense take over.
They can score. They got a great goaltender, great back end. They got some good D-men that can move the puck and bring it from the back end, as well as play solid defensively. So, I think they're a pretty complete team.
One Blackhawk facing the Preds for the first time in the playoffs is Artemi Panarin, the only Blackhawk to begin his NHL career with back-to-back 30-goal seasons. And that production also means for the second straight year, Stan Bowman has to pay out $2.5 million in bonuses that will count against an already tight salary cap. It's a headache for the general manager, but one he'll gladly take.
We assume that when we come into the season, we assume that he's going to get the bonus, and then if he doesn't, then we readjust. But so we're not really caught off guard. So my preparations for next year, that's what we've been planning on all year. I remember we talked to Panarin at the end of last year, and he said, I'm going to be even better next year, and we expect that to happen.
Time now for our ATI physical therapy injury report, and it's good to see that Panarin and Patrick Kane get their center back. Artem Anisimov missed the last month of the season, the final 13 regular season games with that lower body injury. But as far as the rest of the health update, Andrew Desjardins out with a lower body injury. Michael Roosevelt also on that list. It's uncertain whether he will be able to return for the playoffs after surgery Tuesday for facial fracture suffered in that game in Anaheim. And besides Colin Wilson, who we just mentioned, Calle Jarnkrok was the other guy who missed a game or 2 late for the Nashville Predators. He was out on the ice for the morning skate. Looks as though he might be able to go, but Peter Laviolette and Jarnkrok themselves not revealing their hand. That's going to do it from inside the bowl. Let's send it back to the concourse. Pat, you and the guys and all your friends down there.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. We look forward to your reports during the post-game show and afterwards on In the Loop Prime. Time now for our Coors Light live fan vote. Go to csnchicago.com/vote. What's the biggest key to the Hawks winning this series? Is it the Stars being the Stars, the bottom 6 producing, keeping the Preds D off the score sheet, Crow outperforming Pekka Rinne, or special teams become special? Again, go to csnchicago.com/vote, and we'll monitor your votes throughout the next hour. We'll get your guys' keys a little bit later on in the show, but let's go to our Joe Stonecrab. What's at stake? Hawks have over twice the experience over the Predators when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Hawks have played in a total of 1,453 games on their roster. The Preds just over 600, and this is how it breaks down. Of course, Hossa leading the way with 201. 7 players with 50 games or less. Then there's the 8 players with 0 playoff experience. So, Steve, I ask you this. How much does playoff experience mean?
Well, I think it helps a lot, especially before that first game. I think it helps you relax a little bit. When it's your first ever NHL playoff game, you tend not to sleep as well the night before. You don't sleep in the afternoon. These guys have been there. They've done that. And I think they can also relax within a hockey game. I looked at the game last night, Edmonton and San Jose. Edmonton maybe played their best period all year long against San Jose, but they kind of wasted it all in the first period. San Jose had seen it before. They relaxed. They came out. They won the next 2 periods. They ended up winning the game in Edmonton. So I think experience is real important to have. I think after the first couple of games, maybe not so important.
We saw the rookies go through a maturation process, and Stan Bowman always talks about it. First, it's figuring out how to stick in the NHL. Then it's figuring out what the team wants from you. And then it's bringing your talents to the ice. So what are the coaches saying to those rookies that have never experienced Stanley Cup playoff action?
Well, for me, it's very seldom that the coaches will talk to you one-on-one, so I think it would be a little bit strange for the coach, for Joel, to come up and talk to any of the young guys that don't have playoff experience. My inclination is that it's one of two things would have happened. It's either Mike Kitchen would have casually said something to them during the morning skate as they're skating around, just to say, play your game, kid, don't worry about it, just go out there and play your game, have some fun, enjoy the atmosphere. Or maybe they talk to some of the leaders, to be specific about instances, and let them know that it's more of a marathon, and to pace themselves in the sense that if they get to where they want to go as a group and as a team, it's going to take a long time. So to understand that, you can only go through it, but it's always nice to have those veterans to lean on. But I assume the coaches will go through the players in that sense.
I hope you guys got a nap. I know hockey players traditionally take naps, which I think is odd, but that's a story for another day. But maybe you should get a nap, because history tells us that this game will probably go to overtime. If you go back to 2012, every single one of the Blackhawks' first games of the Stanley Cup playoffs has gone to overtime. 2012 against the Coyotes, Arizona won that one. 2013, the Hawks beat the Wild 2-1 in overtime. Back in 2014, triple OT that the Blues came out victorious. 2015 against, of course, this Predators team, when the whole goalie shuffle thing went down, the Hawks won in double OT. And then last year, the Blues bested the Hawks in the first round in game 1, 1-0. So why do you think in the last 5 years the Hawks have needed to go to overtime against their foe?
You know what I say, Pat? Look around the league. Last night, St. Louis Blues go to overtime against Minnesota. The San Jose Sharks, who I mentioned earlier, beat Edmonton in overtime. That Boston game, they won it late. They scored with about 2.5 minutes to go, so that was a tie game late in the third. It's playoff hockey. There's always going to be close games, and that's where I think the experience comes in too, because the Blackhawks have played in these pressure-filled games, come out on top, and realize that they've got that confidence.
I agree, and I think maybe teams are a little bit more hesitant to make a mistake, and they play a little bit more safe. So they're content in making it a close game, versus as you get later on in the series, maybe it opens up just a little bit more.
What about the Hawks watching the games last night and seeing some road teams victorious? I mean, seeing the St. Louis Blues get thoroughly outplayed, but they end up with the W. As you're sitting at home as a Blackhawk watching that, going, well, that's just another reason why every shift, every single period, everything is magnified.
You think of it. I mean, Carey Price was outplayed by the goaltender down at the other end, Henrik Lundqvist. Even look at that game, against the San Jose Sharks. Jones, unbelievable game for them between the pipes. So, yeah, a lot of times it's going to come down to goaltending. A lot of times it's going to come down to special teams, too. And that's why it's real important for the Blackhawks to stay out of the penalty box.
Time for our first break here on Blackhawks Pregame Live, presented by your Chevy dealers. Coming up, the great Eddie Olczyk will join us on Hawks Pregame Live. Eddie did something 29 years ago last night that almost never happens in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll see if he can remember that. We'll also have a breakdown this first round matchup. Who is Edzo's X Factor on the Blackhawks side? And we are 56 minutes away from Jim Cornelius's anthem and puck drop here on the west side. Why don't you order that pizza at papajohns.com.
Blackhawks Pregame Live is presented by ChevyDriveChicago.com. To be the best, you have to beat the rest. See why Chevy is once again the #1 best-selling brand in Chicagoland. Now 6 years running.
Imagine power and control on ice. On the road to the top, it's all about drive. Now get 16% below MSRP on select 2017 Chevy Equinox vehicles. That's over $4,700. See your local Chevy dealer.
It's obvious they were meant for each other. Always side by side, but never together. Forever trapped in the friend zone. Until finally, they got together at Taco Bell.
Check it out.
I'm talking about the taco and burrito. Double the seasoned beef, fresh lettuce and tomatoes, shredded cheese, and crunchy chips. The new loaded taco burrito, just $1.49, only at Taco Bell.
see all of the lights.
Gatorade bars. Never let hunger get in the way of your game.
I am selling tons of Sinizos and common myrtles. It's because of the buxa shortage. And with last summer's Fusarium blight outbreak, I had to load up on Potensis.
No one knows your business better than you.
Man, demand for my outcropping, it's crazy. Solid stuff.
And although you know what every part of your business means, we understand you want to be ready for what's next.
So, you need help with inventory?
Yes, exactly.
Here's where I think we start.
MB Financial Bank. MB means business.
Hey, Chicago Blackhawks fans. When the Blackhawks score twice, get half price the next day at Papa John's. The day after the Blackhawks score 2 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu price online order at papajohns.com. Just use promo code HAWKS2TWICE. Great fans deserve great pizza. Get half price when the Blackhawks score twice the next day at papajohns.com with promo code HAWKS2TWICE.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
We are such stuff as dreams are made on. On the road to the top, it's all about drive. Right now, get $3,500 total cash on select Chevy Cruze vehicles. Drive what Kane and Taves drive.
The only place to get the call from the Hall of Famers Pat Foley and Eddie Olczyk is right here on CSN. We will hand things off to the boys at the top of the hour. We are fortunate to have Eddie Olczyk join us right now. Before we get to breaking down game one, Edzo, do you know what happened back in 1988, April 12th, 29 years ago last night that you were involved in? Do you know what happened?
That's a loaded question there, PB, but did I score? Well, I came into the league a little bit earlier. I was going to say I scored my first couple of playoff goals, maybe, but that happened a little bit earlier. I don't remember. I can't remember yesterday, and you're asking me something that happened almost 30 years ago.
That's true. That's true. You had a hat trick for the Leafs in a 6-3 victory over Detroit. I can't imagine there's been too many hat tricks in Stanley Cup playoff action. So we thought we'd walk.
Yeah, that was the only one, and I will say this, is that the hat trick came in overtime on an assist from legendary Hall of Famer Borje Salming, so something I will
nice.
never forget, beating the Detroit Red Wings in a Game 5 and going back to Toronto for Game 6.
All right, well, let's transition back to tonight's game. Playoffs, certainly a much different intensity, a different speed, considering how the Hawks, basically docked the boat in first place in the West and were resting. Do you see any issues with the Hawks finding that next gear here in game one?
No, I don't. Look, what happened at the end of the regular season happened to a couple of teams, and that's just the way that it is. You give some guys some opportunities, and the Hawks were not playing. You're giving some guys an opportunity to breathe a little bit, rest some guys, you back off on their ice time, and gave some guys an opportunity to step up and get ready for an opportunity in the playoffs. And the Hawks get their opportunity here. They've been through it. They do have a lot of young guys, but they're going to get a quick read on playoff hockey when that puck drops here in under an hour. So I think for this team here, Joel Quenneville's talked about the 4-line rotation, talked about playing quick, making sure they defend really well. I think that's something that Joel hit on the last couple of days about Nashville, is that they're not afraid to turn 2-on-2s into 3-on-2s and 4-on-2s with how active their defense are. He really wants to be, his forwards especially, to be really good defensively, and I think that's something to keep an eye on early in the series to see how the Blackhawks are playing without the puck, maybe even more so of how they're playing with it.
Hey, Edzo, you know the importance of goaltending, especially in playoff hockey. And Pekka Rinne, I guess, has been really remarkable the last couple of months. I think a .932 save percentage. Prior to that, maybe not so good. I look at him over the 2 series he's played the Blackhawks in the postseason. I think he's not been great, maybe a .910 save percentage. Where do you see his game, and how important is good goaltending for Nashville?
Well, Nashville, and for Peter Laviolette, the terrific head coach of the Predators, they're going to need Pekka Rinne to be that guy that was at the end of the regular season and into the playoffs. He can't be the guy that the Predators saw when the Blackhawks and Scott Darling back a couple of years ago with Corey Crawford struggling, outplayed Pekka Rinne. He was not good in that series, and for Nashville to have any chance in the series, he has to be incredible. The Blackhawks are going to get their chances. The one thing that Nashville can do, Stevie, is they can score goals. But for Pekka Rinne, for me, he's been an underachiever. A lot of people think he's one of the top 3 or 4 goaltenders in the National Hockey League. He's never won a series in round 2. He's won a couple in round 1. For me, he is a big key in this series for the Nashville Predators to give them really any hope. And look, it goes without saying, as you touched on, if you don't have it, that being goaltending, I don't care who's standing behind the bench, how good of an offensive or defensive team you do have. If you don't have goaltending, you have no shot to win in the playoffs. So I think for Pekka Rinne, he's got to be the guy that played at the end of the regular season into the most crucial time of the season, and that comes playoff time.
Edzo, when it comes to special teams, why does it seem that the penalty kill is more important even than the power play, as evidenced by the 2011 Boston Bruins, who were 14th out of 16 teams, and in 2015 the Hawks, I believe, were 10th out of 16. Why is that the case?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors in there, Jammer. But I think more importantly than anything else is that the game can be won or lost with a penalty kill. You give up a penalty, you give up a power play goal, all of a sudden you're playing from behind. I think 5-on-5 for the most part, you're going to get your chances. You're going to trade chances every once in a while. But when a team is able to take advantage of that power play and maybe your penalty killing goes sideways, it's tough to recover. I think there's probably more of a psychological impact on a team is when you give up a goal when shorthanded than there is when you don't score on one 5-on-4 when you have the man advantage. So for me, 2 teams right in the middle of the pack for the most part. I know the Blackhawk penalty kill, near the bottom 6 or 7 in the league, where they really kind of dug themselves out of a hole from the start that they had. But I think more than anything else, Jammer, I think it's a psychological part of it, is that when you do give up a penalty killing goal, it's maybe a little bit more difficult to come back from than missing an opportunity with the man advantage.
Last one for you, Edzo. Do you have an X factor from the Hawks' perspective, whether it's a player, a line, a unit, that might decide this series?
Well, I'm going to go right to the captain, PB. I'm going to go to Jonathan Toews. I think that the Blackhawks need him to be the guy that we saw for a stretch of 7 weeks, from maybe the middle of January on. I know the points weren't there at the end. I know he scored a goal in the last game of the regular season, but to me, I really look at that line, at least for right now, knowing Joel Quenneville, with Jonathan Toews, Richard Panik, and Nick Schmaltz. I think the bread man and Patrick Kane and Anisimov they're going to get their chances. They're going to get their goals. But for me, I'm going to look at the captain to be the difference maker in this series, like he's been his entire career. But I'm really zeroing in on Jonathan Toews to be that guy that we saw for a good stretch of 7 weeks, where you could have argued that there weren't many players playing better in the National Hockey League than Jonathan Toews.
We really appreciate your time, Edzo. We look forward to your call with Pat Foley at the top of the hour.
Okay, guys, thank you.
And a reminder, our Coors Light Live fan vote is up and running. Go to csnchicago.com/vote. What's the biggest key for the Hawks winning this series? Right now, the leader in the clubhouse, the bottom 6, are putting up some big numbers. Again, go to csnchicago.com/vote for that. Coming up, what did former Predator Jordan Tutu think about facing his former mates tonight in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs? We'll hear from Tutu. And we'll break down the goalie matchup. Pekka Rinne wearing more than just goalie pads. He airs his frustration with the previous 2 meetings against the Hawks when we continue.